Welcome to Homes Made Simple. I'm Cheryl Plouffe. Darryl Van Sickle is here, of course, to talk about today pricing strategies. So much has changed with regard to pricing. And Darryl, I'd love for us to dig into this on this episode because a lot of people are confused about, where should I price my home and should I change the price? Do I need to up it? Does it need to go down? Do I need to reduce? All of that. Talk to us about where we stand right now with pricing strategies in general for the market that we're in right now.
Well, the pricing strategies that we were just coming from were very unusual. You had a market where there was only 15 or in Brantford, for example, there was 15 or 20 houses for sale at any given time, which is unheard of. If you go back to say 2016 and before, there was anywhere to 400 to 500 listed at any one time. So at that time, because the prices had moved so fast and everything was bidding wars, you really had to list it against what your competition was, and the competition was generally listing about $300,000 less than what would be expected to sell. So now here we are 6 7 months later, and the market's completely changed. Now we have 250, almost 300 houses for sale. The volume of houses that are being sold is down, and the prices have dropped significantly. So we're coming off of many years of basically bidding wars. Low inventory, high demand, low interest rates, easy money. It was basically get a price that was pretty close, get multiple offers, review them, and pick the best one. Now we've come and we've switched. So now we're in a situation where there's opportunity, there's other inventory, there's choices people can make when they want to buy a house. And at the same time, prices are dropping. So some people are holding back on whether or not they want to buy right now. When we talk about inventory, we're coming from a January and February where we only had 15 houses for sale. Where now we're 250 to 300 houses for sale. So now what we were coming from was a position where normally we would look at what's sold. So we had an idea of just what the market's ready to hold, what didn't sell, so what the market wasn't ready to pay, and then what's active. When everything sells and there's no expireds and there's no real comparables or competition, it gets very challenging to figure out where that's going to be. But in that time, the market was moving up so fast that it was basically a win for the seller. Where now we're seeing a significant increase in houses that are coming off the market that are either canceling or expiring or suspending. Um, the sales are, you can't go too far back because we've been steadily dropping month over month. If you used a comparable from 3 months ago, it's not really relevant anymore because those
Right.
prices are gone. At the same
But
time,
Darryl, can I just ask a question just to interrupt you there? Is that normal to not be able to look back further than 3 months for the comparables? Because that makes perfect sense, right? Things have changed so much in the span of that 3 months. But normally, when you're looking at comparables, would you go back further than 3 months to be able to determine? Like, is that part of the strategy in other circumstances?
before 2016, you could go back probably 6 months,
Oh, okay.
7 months, something like that. Just depending on the type of house, depending on the area. If you're in, say, a newer, larger subdivision, you don't really need to go as far back because there's so many more houses that are the same house, right? That, like literally the same model, and that makes your life a lot easier. When you start getting into more challenging areas, will be rural property or older neighborhoods because the lots are all different sizes. The condition of the house is all over the place. It wasn't really a planned subdivision, so every house is different. That's when it gets a bit more challenging. There's a way that we work through that, and just to get an idea where it would be. But when you're dealing with a moving window of solds and active and where the price is, you sometimes we open up the area we're looking where normally we wouldn't use these as comparables, but you need something to reference off of. So say normally you would be only looking at a small subdivision, let's say a newish house where nothing's really sold in that area. So you'll use another area that's similar age, similar size, just to kind of give you a feel of where things are at. On top of that, now when we're listing, we'll actually have to call the realtors that have other houses that are for sale because you don't know what their strategy is. Some of them, their strategy is, we've listed it at say 700 and you call and find out that they've had no offers. Okay, well, that's really good feedback. At that price right now, if we got the same house, that's not working. Or you'll call and they'll say, the house is listed at 700 and you find out they've had multiple offers and they're expecting 950. But I look at it as if they don't know the price of their house, if I haven't done my job as far as the best I can that way, when an offer comes in, how do they know if it's good or not? So let's say we came in and it was a more of a balanced market, and we looked at the comparables and you could see, this house is worth 900. And so we know we want to try 950 or a million. Okay, but then we get an offer at 900. Well, that's a good offer. And it's a good offer, and we haven't had other offers prior to this. So that's, at the end of the day, I always say it's not my house, it's not my money. I do everything I can to make sure that they fully understand and get the best out of it. And there's a lot of other things that go into that as far as preparation of the house. But it doesn't matter how well you've prepared the house. If the price is too high, it's just not going to happen. At the same time, if your price is right and you haven't prepared the house, you're going to lose out. So I always say there's not one single thing you do that's just a magic wand. There's just a process we go through. And the processes we use, we started 10 years ago when people didn't want to buy houses.
Mm.
So how did we make people want to bring offers on houses when nobody really wanted to buy houses? So when we started using that in a really hot market, all of a sudden it was, oh my God, this is not only is this a house, but it's a house that's in great shape. But pricing challenging right now, but you got to be aware, and you have to be ready to react to the market too. Sometimes, for example, we had a house, we got everything ready, everything was looking great, and all of a sudden the interest rate moves 1%. It completely changes everything, and the hard part is you don't know how much it'll change until after. You can only look back and say, okay, that did this.
Yeah. In a couple of times in this conversation, you mentioned a descriptor of what the market's like. You mentioned a hot market, a balanced market. What kind, how do you describe the market that we're in right now? I might have missed this, but can you reiterate that? What kind of market, how do we describe what this market is right now?
Oh, I don't actually know how I would describe this market.
Maybe it's messed up.
Yeah, it's a
Maybe
messed
it's
up
a
market.
messed up market.
Yeah.
I think we
2019,
should make up our own term for what we would call this market.
yeah. 2019 was an awesome market. That's what I consider a perfectly balanced market. If you didn't buy it, like you say, you went and saw a house you liked and you lost it, you didn't care because another one will come up. At the same
Right.
time, if you wanted to sell your house, it was easy to price because it was stable and you could sell it. 2019 was probably one of my favorite years as far as working in real estate, buying and selling, because you could just move around with your clients quickly. They could find the house they want, get the price they wanted, sell their house. It was great. Last year, really good if you're selling, horrible if you're trying to buy.
Yeah.
Horrible. It was just the amount of people migrating, moving out. The zero interest rates were just driving prices through the roof. And we actually helped quite a few people sell in Ontario and move out east. And
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, right? Because they can get more house for their money there than they could potentially in this area,
oh
Brantford, surrounding areas, GTA, Toronto, Milton, etc.
yeah, I still talk to clients out there, and the one client, he's looking at a house for I think about 550,000, and here it would probably be 1.7, 1.8.
Yeah.
You just couldn't buy it here.
No.
You just couldn't buy it. So it's interesting.
So maybe we'll call this the changing market
Yeah.
right now.
We're in transition. We're in transition.
Transition market.
In the market we're in today, you really got to be careful. There are realtors where their pricing strategy would be to tell someone a higher price, right? Just tell them what they want to hear, right? Get them under contract, and then then they would just go on, okay, now we need to lower the price. We need to lower the price, and that's not my thing. But the danger now is if that was your strategy, well, the market's moving down, so now you're constantly trying to catch up with it's a moving target, and no one ends up happy with that. No one, the realtor, the seller, it doesn't help anyone.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's a great place to end it for today. So thank you so much, Darryl. And of course, you can get in touch with Darryl and his beautiful wife, Jessica, who's in the background there somewhere, I think. Darryl and Jessica Van Sickle are, of course, happy to help you. You can reach out to them. We'll leave numbers and contact information near this video. So if you have questions about your real estate needs, you can get in touch with them. Thank you so much, Darryl. Looking forward to our next conversation.
That was great. Thank you.